interaction, someone you meet, someone who really sees you. Maybe it's you who does that for someone else. Your life is never the same. Well, I'm here to talk about meaningful connection. I'm a mother and a professor, both at the same time. And I get asked a lot, how do you do it? Well, raising 3 kids and university responsibilities and commitments in the community does make for a very full life. And I'll admit, it is. We run it on a lot of love. Kitchen dance parties help out a lot too. But overall, it's my passion. But I think the most important question is not so much how I do it, but why. I devoted my life to the study of sociology, vocation of sociology. And I'm also devoted to my family. So with the two together, it brings me to meaningful connection. There are so many problems that plague our world today, from terrorism to disaster, famine, poverty, bullying, sexual violence, the list goes on, and there's no shortage of doom and gloom stories. But my approach is more hopeful. Rather than focus all our energies and attention on all that is going wrong and who it is we should blame, I'd rather suggest that we focus on what's bringing us back to each other, what's healing our wounds, and what is resolving our conflicts. That's our capacity for understanding and empathy. The power of meaningful connection. I remember asking my 10-year-old son about this. I think it's important that we listen to youth and take what they have to say seriously. And I asked him, what is it that you need? And he said, love, care, a place to live, food, a bed to sleep in, money for hockey, money for my interests. Did I say food already? And he continued, these are the core things. Those were his words. These were the core things. So basically what he was telling me is he just needs that kind of feeling. You know it, that feeling of being cared for. There's no one objective measure where we can quantify what caring is, but think about it. There's 4 key things that I want to talk about today that I believe are about meaningful connection and how it is that we can harness the power that we have to make a difference. But before I get to that, I want to share with you where this comes from. And this comes from when I was way back in university. As a student, being in classes, learning to develop my own sociological imagination, I heard about knowledge for social transformation and speaking truth to power. The personal is political. And all of this started to come alive in me. I had professors that were passionate. They saw something in society and they wanted to make a difference. And that's what I wanted to do. So what I do now in the university is a social justice of a form maybe not popularized as much. I do social justice in the classroom by challenging ideas, challenging actions, so that my students are able to think through the injustices that affect everyone, not just some at the margins. So my children, who are 12, 10-year-old, and 5, they really help me to see why this is so important. And then my students, my eager students, I see myself in them, and they help me to see why I have to keep pushing these limits and continuing to think through. So what we do in the classroom is critically reflect. We socially engage, and we, whether it be a guest speaker or maybe it's a film, all kinds of ways that I can move students to think beyond their limits, to think beyond what we have in our society now. So back to me being in university. I couldn't ever imagine myself on a stage, talking to groups of people, doing this for a living. I just knew I wanted to make a difference. But I had mentors. I had people that saw something in me that I didn't yet even see in myself. I could only, at that point, have imagined that one day I would be doing that for my students. And when they say to me things like, you gave me a course in humanity, you taught me to have a heart for people, I realized, well, yeah, I did. And I did that. And I didn't ever believe that I could do that until somebody believed in me. The trust that these individuals had in me and the trust that I saw them have in making this world a better, brighter, more livable place. But it gets busy and it gets tough because we have our own agendas and we have our own needs. And it's sometimes all we can do to see today and not think about some future time when things are better. But we have to care. We have no choice. So I'm wondering what care, I've used that word a lot, what does it mean to you? Think about the word. What are you picturing? Maybe your well-being, physical, emotional, psychological sense of feeling cared for. C-A-R-E. Such a simple word, we toss it around, don't we? With care, take care. But its meaning, actually, if we're willing to think through it and feel through it, its meaning holds so much. So I put to you that we need to make meaningful connections. We can make meaningful connections, and we are. And we can do that through care. Through connection, we care, and with care, we connect. C. C is for communication. We need to communicate. We need to listen. And we need to tell people what our care needs are. So communicate. A. A is for acknowledgement. We need to acknowledge, pay attention, recognize our own selves as worthy and our own dignity and the dignity of those before us. R. R is respect. What does it mean to respect one another? And we get to E. E is for encouragement. I think we need to have the courage to be bold with care, to support one another, to open up ourselves and be vulnerable. So I ask you right now, in this moment, in this silence, to either dig in or think out. So close your eyes if you'd like to deepen your thoughts inward. And you have people at your table. If you would like to do the activity outward, just extend a hand. Do it with me, please. If you want to be in and close your eyes, take a deep breath. Or if you want to be out, think of a moment where you needed somebody. It might have been a time of crises. It might have been yesterday. It might have been a time in your childhood. There was some time where you needed people to care for you. You needed people to care for you, and with that care, you were able to move forward. Social justice, care, connection, these are very, very important things. And I guess I'm just so passionate about it that rather than prepare and say my whole entire speech, I had to let go. I had to not use the PowerPoint. I had to just walk out here and see what happens and be okay with having all of you just look at me with all of this expectation and all of this anticipation that this is what social justice looks like in the classroom and this is what we need to do as a community to move forward and make change. No, change starts with us. Social justice lies within us. We need to humanize ourselves, humanize each other. And if we humanize ourselves, maybe we can humanize social justice issues. It's not maybe. We can. And I hope that you will. This says be bold with care.
be able to talk about success and failure. This didn't go at all how I wanted, but you know what? I'm so okay with that, because if I've left you with anything, sometimes all you can do is show up, express how much you care, and tell the people that you love, thank you.